So, as per Indian standard timing, very good morning, and as per the American timing, very good evening, and welcome you all. We have with us our illustrious alumnus, Mr. Dev Karlekar ji. So, very warm welcome, Dev ji. We have with us our respected director, Shashank Sate sir. I also welcome sir, and all the students from MILS Mumbai and RLI Nagpur. So it's my great pleasure to welcome you all for this special session on career opportunities in the global corporate world in the present context. And Devji, we are very eager to listen from you because your journey from MILS Mumbai to New Jersey, USA is a very interesting journey. And we would like to hear in your words. And it's a great motivation to our students because you being the mentor, you being the coach, and it's a role model to all the students. And you are always the supportive and cooperative, and you are guiding us, guiding to our students constantly. And you are very much attached with this institute, emotionally attached with the institute, and we all are very proud of you that you have achieved so many things in your career, in your life, and our best wishes are always with you. So for your future journey, and thank you for giving your valuable time to our students. And once again, I welcome Devji. So thanks and welcome you all. And now I think I request to our director, sir, Sate sir. Sate sir. Yes.
Sure.
So, yes, sir. Please.
So, welcome Dev sir, welcome Kadukar sir, and all the students. Yesterday I was at the institute and I asked one of our students what is the remuneration package she expects after post-graduation from the employer. She told me that she expects a package of around 8 lakhs per annum. So henceforth, if she works for around 30 years, the total work package works out to be 2.4 crores. But if we value our own body, I just asked her, suppose if you donate one kidney, somebody will happily buy at 10 crores. If you donate some part of liver, probably somebody will buy at 40 crores. So our value is much higher, much above what we think of ourselves. The human body with current market rate is of around 400 crore rupees. So every student, every human being is running an economy of 400 crores with his body. So therefore our inputs, our guides, our guidance, our references, our action should at least match running a 400 crore company. And to guide this kind of company, what mentality is needed, what career opportunities are there, how they should proceed. And I think that is what I expect from Dev sir's lecture, and it be delivered now. And with this little introduction of our own selves, I request Dev sir to kindly proceed with his valuable guidance.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir, for your special remarks and so guidance to the students. But before Dev sir, your speech or your lecture, in within 1 or 2 minutes, just a brief introduction will be given by our CR Rucha Bambulkar. So over to you, Rucha.
Yes, sir. Thank you. A very warm welcome to all. Let our institute take this opportunity to welcome our own alumni, Mr. Dev Karlekar sir, our director, Mr. Shashank Sate sir, and our faculty member, Dr. T.M. Kadukar sir. Myself, Rucha Bambulkar, from Part 2, on behalf of the whole class and institute, feel obliged to introduce our today's guest, Mr. Dev Karlekar sir. Sir has completed his graduation from Mumbai University. He specialized in accounting, human resource, and computers. With educational excellence, he has also represented D.G. Ruparel College at Republic Day Parade Camp and also won Best Cadet Trophy in All India Silver Medal at RDC competition. Sir has completed his Masters from Maharashtra Institute of Labour Studies. Later completed his MBA from Atlantic International University. Sir started his working career as Strategic Client Delivery Management in UBIX. Then, Sir was part of Sunrise System as Head Client Delivery Management. Also, he worked as Head Strategic Client Management at Mindens. Then, he served as Director of Operations in RealSoft. He also worked as Value-Based Equity Investor. He was Managing Advisor at Current Staffing Solutions. He then elevated to position of Managing Director as Hexadus, Sanvista Technologies and Data Boss International. And now he is the CEO of Guru Schools. This is proud moment for MLS to see one of its students at this height of success, and also very inspiring for us. His journey from being a MLS student to achieving great success in his career. We are proud and honored to have him here today in his own institute where he was once a student. We are grateful to you for giving us your most precious time. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rucha. Very nice introduction. And now, Dev sir, you may start now.
Yes, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Namaskar. A very warm welcome from the USA. My name is Dev Karlikar. First of all, I want to thank Professor Dr. Kadukar sir for taking the initiative and organizing this session. He is part of our MILS alumni group, and basically I interact with him practically every day of our lives. I also want to thank the director of MILS Institute, Shri Shashank Sathe sir, for availing his time apart from his busy schedule. The current and past college professors of MILS who shaped my career, my journey so far, and my dear fellow MILS students who have gathered virtually, considering it's early morning for many of you on Saturday. I'm very humbled to seek this opportunity to have a virtual session with you, to share my humble journey so far after graduating from MILS in the year 1998. Dr. Kadukar sir, Dr. Sharad Sawant sir, Dr. Ghabak sir, Dr. Tungare sir, Bade sir, Kori madam, and few other professors who have been a beacon of torch for me for the past several years to keep me abreast of so many developments happening within MILS as an activities, as well as they have always seen and encouraged some of my work, which I do here in the USA as well as in India. And the companies which I own or co-own, I always seek their valuable suggestions from time to time. Dr. Kadukar sir particularly requested me to emphasize more on career opportunities in today's global corporate scenario, along with an eye on entrepreneurship, because I guess as a fellow Maharashtrian, he must be keen on creating and seeking more entrepreneurs amongst us all. I personally feel technology plays a very vital role in our lives, in our career. One of the biggest lessons which we have learned over the past 2 years during this pandemic, it is with the help of technology, most of us can continue to work diligently and can perform our daily chore working in corporate as well as in your studies. Even today's session is possible because of the technological advancement where we all could virtually gather using the video conference platform, and I can reach out to my institute professors as well as each one of you remotely though I'm over 8,000 miles away from each one of you. For the next 15-20 minutes, I'm going to share with you, as well as many of my colleagues as well as friends later on will be watching the recorded copy of this session, which will broadly provide a glimpse of our prestigious MILS Institute, its robust alma mater alumni network, which is successfully conquering the corporate India, particularly the human resource management, personnel management. And now many of them are very keen on scaling up to a global career ambition, using skills which are emerging, demanding, and they does not confine to mere border of any particular law or region. So this will not help, or limit to broaden our career aspirations, but it will also help our families, our relatives, as well as India in particular, once you broaden your horizon. As the India's Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, has an ambitious vision of making India a $5 trillion GDP nation over the next few years, thereby making India a Jagat Guru or a Vishwa Guru, as famously been quoted. It is responsibility, I personally feel, for each one of us who have an Indian heritage within India as well as scattered across the globe, to add our 2 cents. Apla kharutaisa vata we must add. As we often say, boon boon se sagar hota hai, meaning every drop counts. In October month is very special to us, as we celebrate Navratri, as we celebrate Dasera festival. Globally, we are also celebrating October month as a Hindu Heritage Month. Particularly in the USA and Canada, many states, many cities have given proclamation and have endorsed October as a month for Hindu Heritage Month, which is a global recognition to our Sanatan Dharma, and it's a matter of pride. It has been possible with the sheer efforts of we NRIs who are residing in the Western Hemisphere. It's coincidentally also coincides with my spouse as well as my daughter. They both are October born babies. Just to give you a brief about myself, I'm a Pakka Mumbaikar. I was born in Dadar. Later on, I grew up in Goregaon. My introduction is already given, but I just want to summarize. I did my undergrad, bachelor's degree in accounting and finance from one of a very prestigious college in Mumbai called DG Ruparel College. Later on, I completed my master's degree in labor studies from a premier institute, MILS, where I have the opportunity to talk to each one of you in the year 1998. Looking back, when I see my humble growth so far, a large portion of this credit goes to both these 2 premier college institutions, one being DG Ruparel College, second being MILS. Ruparel College molded me to the core. It gave me the discipline to the NCC, where I had represented Maharashtra state in Republic Day Parade Camp. I had the national level silver medal. I had an opportunity to then meet the Maharashtra Governor, P.C. Alexander, the Maharashtra Chief Minister, Sharad Pawar, to the President, Shankar Dayal Sharma, and to the Prime Minister, P.V. Narasimha Rao ji. At a tender age of 17, I was mesmerized looking at these global personas. And I made up my mind, no matter what I do, I would like to excel in doing so. The MILS, once I got enrolled, it further ignited that flame in me. It disciplined me further to have an ambitious career plan. And it also gave me the importance of having a financial wisdom. The strong foundation of MILS Academia coupled with its practical aspects of training, whether it's an industrial visits, whether it is visiting the corporates. That unique blend of learning was very unique for many of us than the many institutes which has a theoretical learning. And it is for each one of us now to further optimally cultivate this towards shaping up our career journey. Now, whether we want to limit ourselves with the age-old Mullah ki daud masjid tak mindset, or to harness and take this bull by its horn, to have an eye on the ever lucrative global career, this just sets each one of us apart as an individual. And it's all about the mindset and the vision which we will be eyeing for. After all, I often say between an ordinary and extraordinary person, the difference is that little extra. And that varies the kind of a vision which we have, the kind of a risk appetite which we want to take, and the kind of a reward which we are expecting from our life. I strongly believe that our network is our net worth. Even India's Home Minister Amit Shahji famously quoted this in a public seminars often. We at MILS, we are blessed with a very strong legacy since 1947. It was founded by late Sri Gulzarlal Nanda, who was the then Labour Minister. Later on, he was India's Prime Minister also for a short while. Our alma mater alumni network has reached great heights over the past 7 decades. Whether it's an Indian corporate, whether it's an Indian central or the state level administrative services like IFS, MPSC services, whether you talk about the socio-political or the union leadership, or you talk about local or the global entrepreneurship, you will see the MILS alumni in each continent of this earth. Now, some of us are taking this legacy to the next level, wherein across 7 seas, in more than 8,000 miles away, we continue this bull run that Atke Par Jhenda of MILS, we will continue to host to the best abilities which we can, whether it's in USA or Canada, whether it's in local politics or socio-political or socio-cultural leadership, whether it's in entrepreneurship. Thus, we as the alumni, we act as a catalyst and a bridge between this great nation, one being our Janma Bhumi Bharat, second being our Karma Bhumi, in my case it is the USA. I strongly feel wherever we go, as the person with an Indian heritage, we should carry India along with us. And we need to make sure we work towards the prosperity, the betterment of our Karma Bhumi as well as our Janma Bhumi. As a person of dual heritage, we work as a catalyst. We work as a bridge between these two great nations with the optimal synergical growth. I have been residing in New Jersey, USA for more than 2 decades. Now I'm started aging myself, looking at each one of you. So after a few years of working in India between 1998 and 2000, where I primarily worked in human resources, talent acquisitions, personnel management, I had the opportunity to travel to USA on a work visa. At that point of time, the India's GDP was $400 billion, whereas the USA GDP was over $10 trillion. As a student of accounts and finance, I crunched my numbers I did my research, packed my bags, and I said, this is my hay time, this is my young age, and I must try this overseas pasture and see if I can make big money and have that big vision. My father, who migrated from Vengurla and Goa region post-independence. Many of you know Goa got freedom very late after 47. So many of them, they immigrated either on Konkan side or Mumbai side. So from my paternal side, they have to left all their belongings, and for their life, they have to come to Mumbai and to start their journey from scratch. So I've seen the hustle of my father as a eldest son, a sibling of 3. My father always quoted that you can be born poor, but you have the whole life in front of you, and do wonders and leave a legacy. He has been involved in the 1960 Sayukta Maharashtra, where the Mumbai got integrated with Maharashtra. And I could see a little disappointment in him that as a Mumbaikar and as a Maharashtrian, where we are blessed to have Mumbai as a part of Maharashtra, with sound education, with sound ethics and moral values, what was lacking? That we remained as a working class, and we lacked that entrepreneurship zeal. During my childhood days, there was Kirloskar, which was a big name. And sometimes in disappointment, he used to say, Kirloskarcha gadi pude gadi apli zaat nahi, that we can't go further Kirloskar. And as a teenager, I used to give him a solace saying, our name Karlekar rhymes with Kirloskar, Dad, and there'll be a day I will have a similar entrepreneurial legacy, no matter where I am. Looking back 20 some years ago, I'm sure my father is very proud of me. When he sees me in the television debates, when he sees me in the Indo-America investment corridor, when he sees me meeting and greeting so many the Indian and the American politicians. And it's a matter of pride for him that his eldest son is doing the best he can for not only the Karma Bhumi, but also to the Janma Bhumi. Through my previous companies I worked over past 2 decades, we generated employment for over 5,000 people across the USA and Canada, primarily in the IT and IT-enabled services, with over additional 3,500 employments created in offshore India. Consolidated revenue generated were in surplus of $500 million. As a part of leadership, as a part of co-owner, as a part of joint owner, I learned the important ingredients required to run a successful multi-million-dollar organization. I strongly believe Jana Seva is Ishwar Seva. To serve people is divine. And we are blessed to provide employment and career opportunities for thousands of people. Like Modi ji is transforming India for over 1.4 billion people, we could be small sevaks in transforming few thousand people, because every effort goes in a long way towards prospering the great nation India as well as to the USA. About my organization, I own few companies. I will talk about one particular organization which is very near and dear to me. For all of you who needs to know more about me, you can simply Google Dave Karlekar, or you can look me up on LinkedIn, because the biodata can be very prolonged. One particular organization which I own, Guru Schools, it's a 21st century Gurukul. I always had this thought process where how can we unite the Indians or the Indian Americans and the Indian Canadians, and how can I peg them with Indians living offshore. That's what Gurukul is about. It's well-being of people. We have few initiatives, and one of the initiative which is very near and dear to me, because as a man, I exist because of a woman. So we have a very strong focus on creating a strong foundation for women in particular. The reason being, in light of career cyclicalities, which happens because of post-marriage motherhood, and then the additional family responsibilities, often there is a sudden break in a woman's career. At Guru Schools, we have an initiative not only in the USA, but also in India, where we work with corporate America as well as in Bharat, in some of the organization in India, towards getting women in STEM, that is science and technology. Even in USA, it's disappointment that for every dollar a man makes, a woman gets 77 cents for performing a similar role. That means there is a bias, and there is a negative bias towards women. Now, one can cry over it, or one could look towards improving this scenario and reducing that bias and eliminate that bias, thereby creating a career-focused training in giving that confidence, mentoring, interview help, as well as giving post-placement and post-career support for these ladies. We are trying our level best at Guru Schools towards reducing that bias and wishful thinking. We hope to eliminate this bias in the near future. Through my organizations at Guru Schools, I'm happy to say that and proclaim that over next 5 years, we will be additionally creating employment for at least 1,600 people in the USA and Canada, as well as creating another 500 plus people employment in India, particularly in my domicile state, Maharashtra. Primarily, we are eyeing for tier 2, tier 3 cities because I share the vision which the Indian Prime Minister has, where in these smaller cities, if we were to create employments in those places, the influx traveling to Mumbai, Pune will get reduced, and that strain will be reduced. So it is my humble effort to go to the tier 2, tier 3 cities, and thereby hiring and then providing employment to these smaller cities, primarily to the female employees. Now, which also means by 2027, Guru Schools on its own will be at least $125 million consolidated revenue organization. A common person or a common man who was just like you 20 some years ago, if I can do it, let me assure you, each one of you can have the same aspirations and you can strive towards achieving that. As an alumni network, I can give my overwhelming support as well as the guidance and the mentorship towards achieving whatever your aspirations you will have. Now, during my corporate journey, I must not forget the various MILS alumni who are or who were working in corporate life, who has helped me from time to time, which has ensured that the bull run which I'm having for the last 2 decades continues. Now, this is for the first time I'm taking this opportunity on a platform of MILS, and I sincerely want to thank from bottom of my heart to each of my fellow alumni, as there is an age-old phrase which says, "Ek mika sahaya karu avge daru supantha," which means, or which Modi ji have transformed and rephrased it saying, "Sabka saath, sabka vishwas, and sabka vikas." That means it's an inclusive growth. I grow as you grow, And my success is pegged with your success, and that Ubuntu philosophy where we all prosper. That's what we believe in. Now, as we all have Indian heritage, and as we are part of our Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam philosophy, where the whole world is one family. Talk about Indian Americans. We're about 1.5% of the US population, which is very small in number. But if you talk about scientists, if you talk about healthcare medical professionals, if you talk about IT entrepreneurs, we are more than 20% concentration. The Indian Americans have the highest household income in the USA. As an ethnicity, we have the highest education. Over the past 2 decades, if you have read any big newspaper, any major science B competition, any major mathematics based competition, any major chess competitions are won predominantly by a person of Indian American heritage. Now, lastly, the cherry on the icing, last year, even the Vice President of the USA, Miss Kamala Harris, also has an Indian heritage. The United States of America and India indeed really gave me an opportunity to optimally attain this potential so far. For this, I'm not only grateful, but I also feel proud to be an American citizen with an Indian heritage. As I come towards my closing statement, I again would like to sincerely thank Professor Dr. Kadukar sir, the director of the MILS Institute, Sri Shashank Sathe sir, for availing this opportunity to interact with the millennials. I used to be one of you 20-some years ago, and you are the future generation, which will be shaping our world to be a better place to reside, while each one of you must adhere to overall growth and development. My warm festival greeting on the occasion of Navratri and Dasara festival. Let's be sure I will be celebrating this festival along with thousands of Indian Americans over the next few weeks here in New Jersey. I will be traveling to India over the next few months. Because of the pandemic, my travel got postponed. Once I confirm my dates, I will be sharing that with Dr. Kadukar sir. I always visit MILS Institute. I call it my pilgrimage to pay my respect to the institute who made me who I am today. So thank you all for patiently listening to me. Respectfully, I would like to ask now Ms. Asmita Suryavanshi to coordinate this further. And if any one of you have any questions for me, please feel free to ask. Please make sure digitally raise your hand so that we can take some of the questions in that order, depending upon how good we are on the time. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and Dhanyavad.
Thank you very much for addressing to the students and your valuable guidance. And definitely, I hope that yes, your address will be known. In a long way, it will mold the career of our students. So, thank you very much, sir. And Asmita, please, if any question and answer sessions, if you have any questions to the students, please ask.
Okay, sir.
You can raise your hand digitally if you want, so that we know and we can take the order so that we are not double talking. anyone have questions can ask. Otherwise, Asmita, you can do the next steps, please.
Yes. Guys, anybody has questions?
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir. I am Rohan Shisode. So I have one question, sir. To become an entrepreneur, sir, we need one idea, right, sir? So only idea is not required, but also we need to transform this idea into reality. So my question is, sir, how can we transfer that idea into reality? What are the steps? Means if we have some good idea in our mind, so how can we transform that idea into the reality? So what are the steps, sir?
Okay, good question, Rohan. Thank you for asking. If you have a good dream and if you want that dream to bring it into reality, you need to wake up. Same thing if you have an idea and you want to bring that idea to the fruitful. I will personally give examples. Though I'm an MLS graduate, primarily I own IT outsourcing companies, 5 of them. I also have real estate, and I'm also into listed equities. I have a global portfolio, the USA, Europe, and India. When I wanted to acquire IT companies, I simply aligned myself with NASSCOM. I simply aligned with TIE, that's a technology of Indus Entrepreneurs. I aligned myself with various local organizations here, which are the mergers and acquisitions. I used to go there, look for the companies which are looking to sell themselves, go through their valuations and buy the companies. If you have an idea and if you want to start an organization from a grunt, the first thing you need to do is basically have a great presentation. Try to test run it, have a proof of concept, meaning have a small audience where you run that idea with them, have a prototype, see if that prototype is widely received. Because end of the day, when you're going in front of the investor, they will be asking you, if someone is willing to give money from their pocket, they want to see the legitimacy of that idea and where have you used it and what's the response like the user base, the user feedback or the UI. So when you give those data points that yes, this is the idea, I have relegated that to this 100, 150 users, and this is what the feedback is. And while doing so, it helps you to go from point A to point B. And if I were to scale it up, it's basically all scalability. So if I were to scale it up, this is the logistics I need, this is the infrastructure I need, this is the capital investment I need. And then those VCs will be willing to give a small handout from their pocket, do the valuation and go to the next level. There are a lot of platforms in India too. VC Circle is one of them. My dear friend Sahad owns it. And various such platforms I can guide you through, because that's what I do as a core business, basically buy and sell companies. So if you want to get more ideas, you can always connect to me offline. I mean, in today's days, everything is online, right? So, and again, unlike the old philosophy, you need millions of dollars in your pocket. That's a myth, okay? I came to this country about $150 in my pocket. In today's valuation, that's about 10,000 rupees, not very long ago. So if you can easily build that multi-million-dollar revenue stream. I was telling Kadukar sir the other day, as I said, when in 99, 2000, the India's GDP was 400 billion and the US GDP was 10 trillion, right? As a part of admission process in MILS, in the group discussion, my group discussion topic was brain drain. And amongst 8 people, I was the only person who was talking in favor of brain drain, where the 7 people were talking anti-brain drain. And my thing was, in a short term, it is a brain drain, but if you channelize it well, these people who go overseas, and if you massage them well, these people will be bringing you billions of dollars of investments and we'll be creating much larger employment. Now, as a 20-some-year-old kid, back then, I was giving them the theory, but these days I implement what I was just doing it back then. So it's very humbling. I still know Dr. Sharath Sawant sir, and sitting as a panelist, he was raising his eyebrows saying what this kid is talking about. And fast forward 20-some years, he has that small chuckle saying, Dave, you did say that, right? And you're doing it. I'm so proud of you. So again, it's very collaborative environment. As a child growing up of the 3 siblings, my mother taught me one mantra in life. That is, if you don't ask a question, the answer is always no. As an elder child, I used to be hesitant. Should I be asking or not? What will my younger sibling will think? What will my brother or sister will think? And my mother used to tell me, if you need something, Dave, you need to ask. What I can say, I can always say no. If I say no, then you can go to your father. You can ask the same thing. If he says no, you can go to your uncle, you can go to your aunt, you can go to your granny. You can go to each person with your request till you get what you want. The persistent effort, the common sense, persistent, prudent effort will beat an extraordinary person who is not disciplined. If your discipline is life, and if you're persistent in life, believe me, a common man, India is a live example. A chaiwala is a prime minister in India, which speaks volumes about our great nation, India, where if you have an aspirations and a vision, and if you plan yourself well, sky's the limit. So I wish you well. I suggest you go on Google, look for online, have a small team of like-minded people. If you are in Mumbai, there are so many platforms available, even in Pune. The Indian government is big on MSME segment, the micro, small, medium enterprise. All of you must be current on these initiatives which the Indian government taking. It's a massive turnaround of India from going from 2.6 trillion to 5 trillion. That means almost doubling the GDP over the next few years. So there are so many initiatives which are happening. I mean, whether it's a clean energy, solar power, whether it's an investments, and so many things, as well as having a world-class breed of entrepreneurs. Each one of you are millennials, right? You have the best of the talent. You are smart, you are intelligent, you are not dated with age. You have the zeal and the energy, and it's all about channelizing it in the right direction. What worse can happen? You'll fail. Use that failure as the first step towards your success. Okay, I hope I tried answering your question. Again, Kadukar sir has my contact. If you need to reach me, you can always connect to me, or you have LinkedIn. You'll find me there, and I look forward to having more interaction if you need me.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Shrujal Randive. She has raised her hand. Shrujal Randive. Yes, sir.
Morning, sir. First of all, sir, to speak about the current scenario, the current pandemic has forced us to more be reliable on the virtual, and things are going electronically. And the what we are speaking, the Industrial Revolution 4.0, which is mostly based on AI. So how is it affecting the career opportunities, like in the field of IR, where we need to be in touch with the people? How it affecting the global career opportunities as well as in India also?
That's a great question, right? In HR, for those who are aspiring to have a career in HR, believe me or not, information technology will always play a very vital role as a part of your evolution. You talk about any human resource information system, your internal HR system is all getting enabled with an AI. Okay, we have the bot. You talk about any mundane process, whether it's banking, opening a new bank account, closing a new customer account, doing any task, mundane task, repetitive, it's all gonna be done by a bot. Okay, that's called robotics process automation. In applicant tracking system or in talent acquisition, many of these bots, they basically, you give them the preferences and they use their intelligence towards ranking the candidate's resume. So a lot of good things are happening, right? And this does reduce a lot of pressure, which otherwise the human resources and talent acquisitions people will have it. A classic example, Kadukar sir, who has the additional responsibility of overseeing the Nagpur Institute. Think of it this way, in a very primitive way, using the technology and using the Zoom, he can still manage some of those administrative responsibilities. For many of you, in light of pandemic, you could not visit the organization. Using a small tool like Zoom or GoToMeeting or Skype, you all could continue your learning, right? So technology is here to stay, okay? It's a dual-edged sword. If you use it for your advantage, and if you stay current using the technology, it's gonna help you a lot, right? During my time, many of my fellow colleagues, they transformed themselves from a mere HR professional to HR functional or HR IT, right? SAP HR or Workday or PeopleSoft HR. And they all have a prospering and a thriving career. Some of them are here in the USA along with me, working for the Fortune 500 and the Fortune 1000 companies here in the USA. So it's all about your mindset, okay? As a 20-year-old kid back then, I simply know what was my C2C, which was very small, about 30,000 rupees, 3.6 lakh back then. And the package which I had from the USA was $80,000, which was 10 times more money. And that made the decision saying, wow, what worse can happen if things doesn't work out? I can always fall back. I have the degree, I have the skills I can work in, right? Try to have the skills, no matter what skills it is, in human resources, in talent acquisitions, even in the law. Go for the labor laws or go for the laws which has universal applicability, right? Which is not limited to the shackles of a particular geography, because otherwise you're limiting your exposure, right? The more global exposure you have, the more broader your horizon becomes, and the more sellability you will have to your candidacy. So, eyeing for companies, so many Western countries are looking to get into the Indian market. All that information you will find through the headhunting companies, through Naukri, and in newspapers, right? Many of you must have access to LinkedIn. Since yesterday or since past 2 days, I had more than a dozen invitations from you all. That's the right thing. You're looking me up on LinkedIn, and many of you are connecting to me on LinkedIn. So these are all the right traits which you are showcasing, right? Never be shy of asking a question. As I always say, if you don't ask a question, the answer is no. You can always be polite and always thank people for showing their interest and for guiding you. Seek inputs from different people from different perspective, and then use our God-gifted simple common sense towards saying, okay, what you can do, right? As Sati sir was saying, if you have a 6 lakhs and 7 lakhs and 8 lakh rupees C2C in India, vis-a-vis to the current 70 and 80 lakh C2C in USA, is 1:10 or 1:9 ratio in terms of compensation, right? Meaning for 9 years of working in India, you earn in 1 year here in the USA, right? That means if you work here for about 3 or 4 years, is as good as working for 30 years in India, right? So I always recommend and suggest for those who are in their 20s, for those who are single, who are looking for a global exposure and have that fire in the belly that, yes, Akashala Gavasni Ghalna, right? We Maharashtrians, we have gone into attack, okay? We have gone we have conquered the land, okay, and we have left our legacy. This 21st century's Maratha, the 21st century's Maharashtrians, Maharashtrians meaning the domicile of the state of Maharashtra, which most of you are, must aspire. I am not saying you should only limit it to the USA. It could be Europe, it could be Australia, it could be New Zealand, it could be Canada, it could be any country, right? Go to those great nations, carry India with you, carry our ecosystem, carry our traditions. Like we celebrate Ganesh festival here in front of 10,000 people. Tomorrow I will be celebrating Dasera festival in front of 8,000 people. We are celebrating Navratri every Saturday and Sunday, minimum to the crowd of 3,000 to 5,000 people every day. So unless we show the world about our heritage and culture, how people would come to know and they will make a note of it. You look at the Fortune 500, Fortune 5,000 company CEO, many of them have the Indian heritage, right? So we have the talent, okay? If you were to see, especially in Pune region, so many entrepreneurs are coming in, even in Mumbai for that matter. So all of you must not think in a comfort zone. If you're in your 20s, this is the time to take the risk. And as you age in your 40s and 50s, you try to limit your risk, okay? This is the time, if you're in your 20s, take as many risks as you can. You can fail as many number of times as you can, because what worse can happen? Nothing, okay? The age is on your side, and that valuable learning will be a long way towards having, you know, that big vision. I mean, just to give a classic example, the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, Colonel Sanders, at the age of 66, he was broke. He was bankrupt. He served for the army, lost his family, nothing. He was literally begging for food in a state of Kentucky, which is like Odisha, okay? It's a very poor state in the USA. Literally knocking on the door after serving the US Army for over 20 some years. The lady asked him, why should she give him a food, what he can do for her, or what he's good at. And he's saying, ma'am, I can make a good chicken, okay? That woman showed him the kitchen and she showed him the chicken saying, okay, go cook it for me as well as you can have it. He cooked it, next 45 minutes, half an hour. The woman loved his cooking. Next thing she did was she gave him $10, $20. Again, we are talking about 50 years ago. And she said, okay, next week I'm having a gathering. You can cook for 30 some people. That was the humbling journey for Colonel Sanders started. Fast forward 11 years, the person who was a pauper made $1 billion in a span of 11 years. The other inspirational story, which many of you have seen, if you've watched the movie Guru, which has a very deep impact in my life. At the tender age of, I think, 13, I had the opportunity of seeing and reading about Dhirubhai. And I always questioned my father that a fourth dropout can make $1 billion. I'm a graduate, I can make $1 billion too. And my father jokingly used to say, Dev, at least try to make $1 million, and then dhacha ma karta tasa million che billion kar. So those millions are done, and now dhacha ma is in process, and that billion will be going. And I can guarantee you, our alma mater is so strong. It's all about honing them, and it's all about uniting them. So many of them are working with the Fortune 100 companies globally, and they are in the leadership role. The only thing is lacking is they are like fingers. They all act separately. What Dr. Kadukar sir, what Sate sir should have to have a cohesive outreach and make them a feast. When you're a feast, you're unbreakable. When your fingers, you can easily be tweaked, right? So it's a high time when you see the XLRI, when you see the TIS, what they thrive on. They thrive on their alma mater. They thrive on their alumni network, right? Most of the positions are filled from one alumni to another alumni. Why can't we do it? We have a 70 years of legacy. right? Why can't we have a platform? And Sate sir, I always have had this suggestion to Tungare sir or to Sawant sir. I'm sharing it with you. Why can't Sunday sir, Bade sir, everyone I have said that. These people, they have the walking, talking dictionary of our alumni. Why can't we work them as a one team? Have a quarterly reunion, chai pe charcha, pakode pe charcha, whatever you could do, or virtual charcha in light of pandemic. And why don't we try to have, placing 50 people is a piece of cake, right? In the Indian fraternity, if you're looking for an HR job. So if you do that outreach, each, assuming we have thousands of alumni, even 10% of them were to hire every second person, 50 people will be placed in a matter of a week or two. So many things which we can do. There is a phrase in Hindi which says, Sangatan mein Shakti hai. There is a power in unity. So it's all about collaborative efforts. It's all about, consistency, and it's all about playing as a one team. And if you can do that, believe me, MILS is a great brand. All it needs is a little tweaking, a little shining. And we're already a global brand. The point which I'm talking from the USA, and I take pride in saying, you'll see all my LinkedIn profile, Facebook profile, it will say MILS. And I take pride in everybody I talk to saying this institute gave me the visa to come to the USA, because it's a degree, it's a postgraduate degree. For those who are looking for Western pastures, looking for either a work visa, looking for a PR to Australia, New Zealand, Canada, when you have a postgraduate degree, you get more points than to have a diploma. So you will always have a leg up whenever you're applying for a job, especially overseas, over tests and over XLRI, because MILS gives you a degree, not a diploma. Okay. How you pronounce the name? Shaolin
Padare.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Shaolin Padare. Good morning, sir.
Shaolin. Okay. Well, it reminds me my 80s movies of Shaolin, Kung Fu movies. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is the same name, Shaolin.
Okay, good.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Sir, actually, you talked about the growth of India and the collaboration between the US and India, right? That regarding the growing the employment in India and creating employment in India also. But as we see that today there is a jobless growth in India, right? More and more people are shifting towards the IT sector and service sector. And as a student of a labor study, we are much more connected with the manufacturing sector, where the labor works at a ground level. And what will be your suggestions if one wants to go in a manufacturing sector and wants to and desires to go for the welfare of the labor, and as an entrepreneur he wants to work for them? So what will be your suggestions?
Shaolin, the employee welfare is a very broader term. Okay, you cannot confine it to the age-old welfare which has been taught in the books. The 21st century welfare of an employee, it not only a physical affair, it's also the mental well-being. Okay, so there are so many well-being. If you were to see the emerging books and studied them, they will talk about the financial welfareness of the employees, the physical welfareness of the employees, the mental welfareness of the employees, right? Not only the employees, of their families also, like having a crèche system, for the newborns and all. It's a part of the welfare system, right? Giving compensation to the deceased and giving an employment to the employees. It's a part of your welfare outreach and all. So there are so many subcomponents, right? Now, you cannot limit welfare only to the manufacturing industry, okay? TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, have over 5 lakh employees, okay? And there is always a need for human resources, for the employment relationship officer, as well as for the employee welfare officer, okay? Now, the welfare will vary depending upon what business segment you are in, correct? Or what industry you are in. So there are finer nuances, right? It's like this. if you were to ride, if you were to drive a Maruti Suzuki, the clutch and the gearbox will work differently. If you were to ride a i10 or i20, it will be having finer nuances, finer differences. So you have to accommodate and adjust yourself accordingly. But fundamentally, it's a $1.4 billion people economy, the India is, right? So there will always be opportunities. It's a self-sufficient economy as a nation. So there will be opportunities coming to you. And basically, it is up to you to tweak your approach accordingly. You should be smart enough to analyze which are the growth areas, which are the emerging areas, and which industries or which companies will have a future prospect, right? If you know, as an alumni, right, when our institute started 70 some years ago, right, that time the labor market was different, right? The intent of starting an MILS 70 some years ago had a different thought process, though it was for a labor well-being, but that labor well-being connotation had a different approach towards it. Then it continued to evolve. In 70s and 80s, the unionized labor and the trade unions came in the picture. Then comes the 80s and the 90s liberalization. And after 19 liberalization, suddenly the welfare and the labor-centric approach transformed himself to the personnel management. From the personnel management, it further got transformed into human resources, from human resources to HR, IT. And now, whether it's in conventional HR or HR, IT, now you're talking about in a global perspective. Yes, you cannot confine any of the policies or any of the initiatives only for the particular city, state, or even a country. So many of our alumni, especially so many of my seniors and juniors working, say, for TCS or Wipro, Tech Mahindras, or even Schneider Electrics and all, they go on a deputation for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, South Africa, Europe, even some of them have come to the USA too, to 2 years and 3 years of deployment. And that's a great exposure for them, right? So they have to adhere to the skill where, you know, they can showcase to the management, and hence they are being deputed to those positions. So every 3-5 years, they go for 2-3 years of global deployment. Okay. So to answer your question is, you know, you should be, change is constant. The only thing which is assured is change, right? So if you are ready for adaptability, right? And in general, we Indians are very adaptable to changes. We have come a long way. Yes, I'm from a Marathi medium. I did not know a word of English until I was 12 years old, right? So from there to suddenly get that rude awakening that if you want to make money and if you want to have a career, you must learn English also. There is nothing wrong in having a mother tongue, and I'm multilingual. I speak few languages, but English is also very important. And when it hit me, I ensured that I work towards it and I improve upon my English, right? So if a vernacular medium student today can speak in front of you all, a humble student who was born in a 10 by 15 shack because we are immigrant from Goa, Vengurla, in a makeshift place in Mumbai. From there, today looking back humbly, it's very good growth for me and for many of the alumni I know. I mean, Bade sir, Kori madam, they know our humble upbringing. It's just like many of you today. It's a hustle, it's a struggle. What kept us going is that vision, and that sets us apart. When I look at it, whether it's a Ruparel college, whether it's an MILS college, was I always the topper? Absolutely not. I was never the rock bottom either. I was somewhere in the middle, right? Why I'm here vis-a-vis to why some of them are not here or still struggling. And it all boils down to the vision. It all boils down to the career aspirations. It all boils down to taking those risks. It all boils down to, stepping out of your comfort zone. So if you're willing to do so, right, and if you're not afraid to take a risk, if you're not afraid to fall, right? See, anomalies will happen, okay? People will push you. You may fall, knowingly or unknowingly, okay? That's not in your control. What's in your control is to stand up on your feet. Yes? Even if someone knocks you down, you can rise up again. Yes? So if you can do that, sky's the limit. Okay? Let me see if we have any other question. Otherwise, we will wrap up the session in the interest of time.
Yeah, but Dev sir, see your time. Huh?
I'm good, sir.
Achha,
Sir, for me, it is 1 a.m. So I have all the free time in the world. At this time of the hour, the thing I do, either my light reading, my India conference call, which is Saturday, so which is not happening, or I'm taking nidra, I'm sleeping. So I'm good. It's always an opportunity to talk to each one of you. Look, each one of you are young. You have smart, intelligent. You are blessed to have Sathe sir, Kadukar sir. They are educated. They are working in the ministry. It is up to you persistently to follow up and to have those aspirations followed by them. You have to ask, and if you can ask, you will get what you want. Okay, let me see. There are a couple of raised hands. Shaolin again. Ashish Jagirdar.
Yeah, Ashish, please go ahead.
Yeah, Ashish, you go ahead.
Yes, thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity to ask you a question. So I wanted to ask that what more skills and more talent we need to hone up in ourselves to excel globally or have that global thought process that we can also do something, might be not big as you, but at least a bit in a global way or in a global country after pursuing MILS, sir.
See, the environment is very important. Okay, how you align yourself. Same India. When I came in here 20 some years ago, people used to ask us, "You are from the country of snake charmers? Does the elephants still walks on the road? Does the buffaloes," and buffaloes used to even graze now. So I used to see, buffaloes do and elephants do too. I have seen the earthquakes. I have seen scams after scams. The same India last 7 years is having a major transformation. Okay, we all agree on a global footprint. It's called India Shining. Okay, whether it's Atmanirbhar Bharat, whether it's Make in India, whether it is making India as a Vishwaguru. There is not one country in the world which is eyeing to collaborate with India. The Chanakya Niti of Modi ji led Indian government. I mean, to give you a classic example, because I'm part of the delegation for some of these things where, we sometimes have to host these leaders. When Modi ji had come in for Howard Houston or even now. So we have to do the arrangement because, they're in foreign country and the Indian embassy and the consulate depends upon the Indian Americans, the entrepreneurs. They will have a backdoor meetings and things like that whenever Fadnavis ji comes or some other chief minister comes and all, because they all need investments, right? So the point is, India has come a long way, right? That vision, right? That inclusive growth, yes. So each one of you, if you have what sets you apart, let me tell you, it's about a vision, okay? Am I the rock star? Absolutely not. Okay. Am I the most intelligent person? Absolutely not. Okay. My 12-year-old is much smarter than me. I have a 12-year-old daughter and she reminds me every day of her life. So what sets me different is, I guess, the vision, right? If you can't get along with people, if you humbly accept that there will be smarter people than you, the leader is a leader. The leadership qualities doesn't mean you are the most intelligent person. That's a fallacy. Okay. The leader's job is a conductor. Okay. When you have the large musical thing, there is always a one conductor who is making sure everything works in the right direction. So if you can collaborate with people and get the work done from each one of them. I mean, I have IITians working for me, IIMs working for me in my IT company. And they're all smart people, okay? But they work for me. And so I guess it is not the intellect. It has got nothing to do with intelligence too. The vision that just sets us apart, the persistent effort, the environment within which you live, with whom do you seek guidance. So if your mentors are good, and then end of the day, be a good reader. Okay, if you read every day at least for an hour, and that reading need not be historical books, it could be any light reading, right? Contemporary, current affairs and all, career specific news and all, that's gonna transform you. If not consciously, subconsciously, that does positively impacts you. So look, nobody knows everything, okay? We all know something. So when we collaborate, that something by each one of us becomes everything. Yes, we are 69 of us. If each one of us have one unique idea, at the end of the session, each one of us has 69 ideas. The beauty of idea, it compounds, right? If you have 1 rupee, I have 1 rupee, we exchange, we both have 1 rupee. But if you have one idea, I have one idea, we exchange, now we both have 2 ideas. Yes? So one of the things which we all can do is always brainstorm ideas, right? There is nothing you can hold on to yourself. You can always share, you can always collaborate. People will always appreciate if you have great ideas. Yes? I mean, I always tell my employees too, if you have a doubt or if you have a concern, please speak your mind, because if you ask a question and if that's a foolish question, you'll remain a fool for a minute or two, because I'll answer it to you. But if you don't ask that question, you'll remain a fool for your life. So always ask question, right? It's whether it's a right or wrong, you may have guidance which you need. Communication is the key in today's world. Communication is of the utmost important, right? And have a global organization where you could learn. Always have a good mentor. So many of you will end up working in any organization you choose to work in the state of Maharashtra. You'll always have an MILS alumni. Yes. So it's your job to walk up to them. Okay. You are thirsty. You must walk to the well and seek the water or the knowledge, right? Don't expect the alumni will come to you and they will guide you too. You have to go ask them what your doubts are, humbly, and they will always be there to help you. Okay. If someone gives you cold shoulder, be the Chanakya, have an outreach to Sathe sir, Kadukar sir, so many other institute alumni, and they will be your Brahmastra. They can bridge that gap and they will facilitate it further. So again, all of you are smart, okay? And I'm sure all you got to do is scratch your gray cells a little bit, and you'll have an idea for all of them. If you don't, look around, find an ally, a friend, and ask him or her, and maybe they will have a better suggestion.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. But no, if anybody have questions, no, that questions will be communicated to us, me or the Asmita, and then we will communicate to Dev sir for further. No, he will be personally in touch. Okay. But before concluding this session, I request Sate sir. Sate sir, you want to say something?
Actually, I would like to, but I will address our joint session of part 1, part 2 regarding this industrial relations and HR. This myth looms larger. Since I am not from teaching faculty, how I look into. I have also work experience of working in a company, Bharat Forge, and also going with many of the companies. And right now, I'm still finding out which companies and which CEOs would like to come to our institute and address us. So at that time, I will be more expressive and I will express my understanding of the subject, including IR and HR myth kind of thing which is going on. And let us,
Yes.
at that time I will speak, okay? That will be much better.
For vote of thanks, Dev sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So over to you, Asmita.
Thank you, Kadukar sir. Thank you, Sate sir. Myself, Asmita Suryavanshi from MILS Part 2 student, on behalf of our institute, late Narayan Meghaji Lokhande, Maharashtra Institute of Labour Studies, and our students, I am overwhelmed to extend a vote of thanks to our today's guest and our very own alumni, Mr. Dev Karlekar sir. Our today's session on career opportunities in today's global corporate was very insightful. It was informative session wherein students got to interact with sir. It was an interactive session with a brief of entrepreneurship. Sir, our best wishes are always with you. The institute wishes you all success. Sir, we would be fortunate enough if we could have an offline session in our institute premises for part 1 and part 2 in our near future. Thank you, sir, for sparing your precious time from your busy schedule and enlightening on entrepreneurship. Thank you, sir. I would also extend my thanks to our Honorable Director, Shri Shashank Sate sir, our Professor, Dr. Kadukar sir, and Dr. Atul Nogde sir, for managing and organizing such an overwhelming session. And lastly, thanks to all the audience, Part 2 students, for attending the session. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I will send you a recording of this video. Give me a day. Again, I want to thank each one of you patiently listening. And I again want to thank Sate sir, Kadukar sir for giving me the opportunity. I want to congratulate each one of you. My well wishes to Part 2 students for your campus. I see those updates on LinkedIn as and when people get placed. So though I am 8,000 miles away, I am pretty much in the loop as to the development which happens, and Kadukar sir from time to time does brief us. So my best wishes. Kadukar sir, thank you so much. Sate sir, once again, sincerely thank you for your time. And all of you have a great day. We will conclude the session. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.